do a Klaus Kinski episode.
A Klaus Kinski mini review.
Well, don't forget, this is the
This isn't even a mini review.
I am
this
Jesus
is like
Christ.
There's a whole show on Shutter Island.
well, I guess this goes to the thing that we can talk about a movie for a full half hour.
Well, we got some other things we can discuss. Let's talk about, all right, let's talk about the future of the CineFiles, because this is important. This is something we're talking about. All right, we want to change some things. No, this is good. We want to change some things, and they're going to be.
Throw it out to the fans.
Hopefully, we're going to have a meeting shortly, and we want to change some things about the way we've been interacting with the YouTube community and everything. We do want to start actively updating the blog, perhaps getting a website out there, and making some of these shows podcast. We want to hear your opinions on these. Also, Mike has made a commitment. He's going to start going over to the Facebook page and posting more, as will I and Jeff and Eric.
And we'll update our blog more frequently.
Yes.
It's just I know people have been complaining there's not enough content. It takes a lot of time.
Well, we need you to visit our blog.
So yes,
we need you to comment on it.
CineFiles
Not
TV.
just the Facebook page.
Yeah, come.
But we love the Facebook page.
Yeah,
we do.
We appreciate.
Very entertaining discussions there.
Our fans are very loyal.
I want to appreciate too all the people who have who've subscribed to the show. I mean, it really makes me feel good when you leave a comment and you subscribe and you rate the video. I do enjoy it. We might not have time to reply to all of them, but we do read them. And we will try to have more content, but just please take into consideration, people, that we do have jobs. This is not our primary source of income.
And if it was, we'd all be sitting here in animal skins, looking like skeletons.
Yeah, we've been having, I think this show puts us in the minus column. So, but we do it because we do enjoy it, and we hope you enjoy it as much as we do. And hopefully we'll be continuing to do this for some time, and hopefully better things will be happening with us, and we'll be doing some more interesting stuff.
Well, people, our fans out there, and gotta know that
Why do I
hopefully
expect Jerry Lewis to walk in?
One day, because he's still combing his hair. We hope to be the next. We hope to be the next at the movies, but
which just got canceled.
Well, without the cancellation part. But we would be the next generation of at the movies. We would hope that we could beat out the guys from the idiots from Spill.com. Did I mention them? No, I didn't. I didn't mention them.
I like the guys from Spill.com.
I have nothing against.
What I've seen is very limited.
I haven't seen
enjoy
it yet.
the reviews on Spill.com.
And I also want to.
It's not going to go there.
I want to also mention something too. I want to dedicate this show to somebody who I think is a very amazing individual, and this is something, no joking, seriously, guys.
Richard Lynch?
No, I'm talking very seriously, guys. I want to dedicate the show to Roger Ebert. Without you, Roger Ebert, there would be no film criticism on TV.
That's true. I second that motion.
I third that motion.
I admire you a great deal that you continue to persevere through, in spite of all your circumstances. In fact, I wrote you a letter. I hope you got it. I don't know if you, hell, you don't even know if you even saw this.
I also made a comment on his website, too, saying that without Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel, there would be no CineFiles.
I'm not going to lie to you. Like I said, I don't always agree with Roger Ebert. In fact, this is the man who gave, as I said in my my little note to him, you gave Last House on the Left, the original, 3.5 stars. And I'm an exploitation fan. I think that movie sucks dick. But I admire that you had the balls to stand up for that movie. When
he gave a thumbs down to Starship Troopers.
But this is the guy who wrote, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, so he knows what he's talking about.
And he gave a thumbs up to Earth Girls Are Easy.
And Tomb Raider.
Fucking asshole.
And he also gave Sugar Hill 4 stars, the one with Wesley Snipes. So I don't always agree with him, but I admire that the man has the balls to actually come out and state it. He's not like a Kyle Smith or a fucking douchebag, or Armin White, who's a fucking bigot idiot who always has to make hip-hop references to everything. And that fucking Brian De Palma.
Racist.
Brian De Palma. I'm so sick of you defending him every fucking...
And Spielberg.
And Spielberg. Spielberg, everything he does... Sorry, guys, that's another show, Our Critics. But Armin White, you suck, and you are a bigoted asshole. Fuck you. Sorry, I had to mention that because I read his review of District 9 again recently, and it really is an ignorant and stupid review. And I am
well,
so
you heard
glad.
what his whole deal is, like how he criticizes films. How he comes down to. He has this like barometer where he's like, if he sees a film, and if he can think of a film that he thinks is better than that film, then that film gets a bad review. That's basically how he does it. You read the same article.
Yes.
That is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
He said if you like Iron Man, There's a much better film out there called The Chronicles of Riddick.
You're kidding me. He did not. No, that is not.
Yeah.
So therefore,
no,
Iron
he
Man
did.
gets a bad review.
Yes. Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy Chronicles of Riddick. I don't think it's great. I just think it's kind of fun. It's not really
He's
good.
a contrarian.
But he's an idiot. But
Even though he says he's not a contrarian.
it's like saying this.
Maybe you have to get more press.
Vertigo. Vertigo is a good movie, but I saw a better film a couple years earlier called Diabolique. You know, I mean, they're two films that are both equally excellent in their own ways.
Exactly.
You know,
they don't need to compete against each other.
Yeah, I mean, if we did that, if you watched.
But Brian De Palma and Steven Spielberg don't fall into those rules. They're above that.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, this is the guy who'd probably give 1941 a good review because he's a fucking idiot. Fuck you, Armin White. Suck on that. That's I'm doing. And this is from Al Goldstein.
Well, apparently it was better than Iron Man, so. That's why Iron Man got a bad review.
I cannot believe it because Iron Man. I didn't think Iron Man was perfect, but it's a very entertaining movie. And for him to say that Chronicles of Riddick, that's not even the same. It's not even a comic book movie.
For our viewers, in case, go to nypress.com, newyorkpress.com. Armand White is their chief critic. Just read one of his reviews.
Please.
They are entertaining. They'll anger you, they'll frustrate you, you'll be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But they are really entertaining to read.
I think reading one of his reviews has about the same effect as watching a Pauly Shore movie.
He's
No.
the Pauly Shore movie writer.
You get angry, you get frustrated, you wonder how this guy is making a good living.
I'd say it's more like Eric Schaefer.
Oh, don't bring that guy up.
Yeah.
We got to bring this show to a close soon. I think we got the warning light. But before I do, I mean...
Henry Jaglom. It's like watching a Henry Jaglom.
I think reading an Armand White column is similar to eating a lunch at Olive Garden.
Oh. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's just like Artie Lang would say, if my mother ever caught me eating at Olive Garden, she'd disown me. And I know exactly what you mean by that. Armand White really is a pathetic critic, and I don't
Reading
know
Armand White is like paying $28 for a hamburger.
I don't know how we got into this about Armand White, but fuck you, Armand White.
Well, now on the YouTube page, we've got to put mini review Shutter Island, mini put down session Armand White.
What are Armand White's opinions on Scorsese? He put down Departed, I think, didn't he?
Oh, I'm sure. Sure. Anytime there's a majority of people, and educated people, that like a particular film, he has to go against that. That's why he's such a big Spielberg supporter, because he knows that there's a lot of film critics and scholars out there that will put down Spielberg. Our friend, John Cornwell, even did his thesis at NYU on what a hack Steven Spielberg is, and the teacher came back and said, this is easy pickings. Everybody knows Steven Spielberg's a hack, so I'm going to give you a C on your paper.
But then again, this is the guy that quit graduate school like a semester before he was to graduate. So, you know.
That's true.
Well,
but that's not Armand White.
That's not Armand White.
Armand White.
Well,
but you know, Armand White is sitting here watching this maybe in some reality and laughing.
Oh, well,
he's
getting paid to write, and the people know. Let me tell you this. It's just like this. No matter what, he's getting attention. People are reading his reviews. People are aware of him. So he's obviously doing his right.
But let's call
He's like Rush Limbaugh of film criticism.
Well, I was just going to say, let's call a spade by saying that Armand White is basically he's a professional wrestler. He's a professional wrestler. He comes out, he puts on his act, he puts on his shtick, people boo him, and then he goes on. It's the villains that always make the good money. The villains are always the one that make the attraction in wrestling worthwhile. I mean, you know, you got your heroes, but the villans always come out. And that's what he's paid to do.
Now I know how we got in this conversation. I was thanking Roger Ebert. Thank you, Roger Ebert, for doing good film criticism.
Thank you, Roger Ebert.
Roger Ebert.
Yeah.
Please
For
persevere.
Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Please persevere.
Yeah, Roger, keep going on, man.
I do have a funny anecdote, though, about Roger, but this will make you laugh. My friend.
Antidote or anecdote?
Anecdote. This will make you die laughing. My friend actually went up to Russ Meyer and asked him, how are you able to get Roger Ebert to write these films for you? And he goes, that's easy. Roger loves big hooters.
Well, no, he said Russ Meyer actually said in an interview before, he said the two ways to get to Roger Ebert, two ways was, the man loves big boobs and the man loves a lot of food. And he said he always had one of his girls on hand and he always had a lot of food in the fridge at Roger Ebert's at the house that they were staying at.
But when he wrote Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, was he an established film critic yet?
Yes, he was.
He was?
He was writing for Sun Times.
Really? Even that early, like 68, 69? Was that, or 71?
Well, he started writing, I think, professionally when he was in college. Like while he was still in college, he had like a legitimate writing job.
Well, anyway, if we have to roll the credits, Gloria, go ahead. I don't know if we're over. But
I just wish one of us would do the peas porridge hot, peas porridge cold.
Oh, okay. Then just
Peas
fade the
porridge
black.
in the pot, 5 days old.
We can want to continue this, or are we good?
This is very stream of consciousness right now.
Well,
This is our postmodern episode.
I don't know how you describe this episode.
Well, I can cut it into 2 pieces. All right, I'll tell you what. We got time. Let's just talk about all right, you were talking about critics. Why don't we finish this critic conversation? It's actually pretty good. Now, the critics that who are the critics that you admire yourself? We don't have to use this.
I really cannot stand Kyle Smith.
Well, I think he's a Nazi.
I also cannot stand Kyle Smith.
I never read the New York Post, so I've never read his reviews.
Oh, I read his reviews because I do it intentionally because I'd love to always. The thing that I do is the day that the Michael Moore movie comes out, I'm going, okay, let's see how many stars, which I always know is 1 or 0, Kyle Smith's going to give his movies. And every film shows that this man is a fucking douchebag asshole because he gives every film by Michael Moore 0 stars or no stars and said it's misguided and untrue.
Well, it's funny about Kyle Smith. I mean, this just really proves a point. And New York Post writers actually wrote in, or I'm sorry, New York Post readers wrote in to criticize Kyle Smith. But a couple years ago, the day after Al Gore had won the Academy Award for An Inconvenient Truth, Kyle Smith posted an article in the Post. And it was like maybe, I don't know, 7, 8 paragraphs long, and it was basically talking about how fat Al Gore looked and how he didn't deserve the Oscar. And I thought, wow, that's a film critic. He's not criticizing or talking about the film. He's talking about the actual appearance of the man. And I thought, you have basically, even though all your criticisms are vile and ignorant and silly and superfluous, you just basically exposed yourself as a Murdoch puppet rather than person who actually can look at a film and judge it either way. And I think by doing that, you exposed yourself as a hack. And that even puts you on a lower rung than Armand White, because Armand White plays the role as the villain, he plays the role as contrarian, but he isn't such a partisan hack that he can expose himself in that light.
Right. I would say the flip side of that, there is a critic that I've always liked. He doesn't write anymore, unfortunately. He does, he does like reporting on sports now.
Richard Lynch?
Yeah, Richard Lynch.
Michael Lupica.
A guy named Danny Puri.
Oh yes.
Who wrote the cult book, cult movies books and stuff like that. Phenomenal film critic, really good writer. Always very illuminating, bring a different point of view to certain films and things like that. A lot of his books are out of print. He put out a really good book called the Film Fanatic's Guide to Movies.
Yeah, I have that book.
Is that the actual title?
It's not the exact title. It's close enough.
He wrote like a series of books, cult movies. He's got Cult Movies 1, Cult Movie 2, Cult Movies 3. And then he wrote The Guide to the Ultimate Film Fanatic, I think is what it's called. And very intelligent writing, and always has like an interesting, unique perspective on the films he's reviewing. And he's not biased, and he's not, he goes into film and totally embraces it for what it is. And he's a very enjoyable writer. Writers I'm not a big fan of. I'm not going to go into a diatribe on Armand White anymore. Manohla Dargis is very annoying.
I'll give you another one.
New York Times, very pretentious critic.
I got to give you another one. This is one I know you agree, because even Roger Ebert said that he should renounce his film criticism.
A.O. Scott?
No, but not about that one.
Joe Bob Briggs.
No, he said he said he's actually I like Joe Bob Briggs. He's actually crossed over.
He's not really a critic though. Yeah.
I mean, he's an unusual
personality.
He's like a
personality.
I'll give him credit though. He's a unique character. You can't hate him, because he doesn't claim to be a real critic, The person, because I remember even Roger Ebert said after this, he said he's become a conservative political activist and he should renounce his film.
Who, Jeff Lyons?
No,
his partner?
Michael Medved.
Oh, Michael Medved's terrible. Does he still review films?
I think he does occasionally, but now he's become like a conservative,
well, he's become like
host.
A Michael Savage or
he's like a Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, but doesn't he mainly do it like on a Christian website?
Well, he's Jewish.
I'm just saying.
That's what makes me laugh. Is that he actually
was
waiting
for the
He was
rapture.
one of the people that was actually defending the Passion of the Christ and like saying, "Oh, I don't think it's anti-Semitic and all this." And he goes, "Mel has let me down." That was it. I was like,
he also criticized
Was that the whole
$1 Million Baby
review?
for being pro-death penalty or pro-euthanasia. I'm sorry, pro-euthanasia. And Michael Medved. And when people call him on his shit, which there have been times where I think Al Franken, it was either Al Franken or Michael Moore confronted Michael Medved on his shit. And Michael Medved just looked like a sad little toadstool when he was put into his place. So he's so inconsequential. Mainstream critics that I really enjoy, that I find that I agree with them most of the time when I see their blurbs or read their reviews. I like Peter Travers of Rolling Stone quite a bit.
Peter Travers too.
And I like Richard Corliss of Time.
Richard Corliss, sometimes I like his stuff, and sometimes I'm like, where the fuck are you coming from? You know, it's like he'll have he'll trash something. I'm like, but everyone loved this. Why are you? I like Richard Corliss. He
was the first one that came out when a lot of critics came out to Road to Perdition when everybody was praising that. He was the first one that kind of came out and said, yes, it's basically Miller's Crossing without any gravitas or resonance.
Who writes for Village Voice?
That would be Jay Hoberman.
Jay Hoberman.
I think he's interesting. I'm on the fence as to whether I like him or not. He
strikes me as kind of crabby.
Well, he's old school. He's like the old school cat here, do cinema,
Pauline Kael.
Yeah, the whole Pauline Kael school of film criticism.
People worship at the altar of Pauline Kael, and let me tell you something. I couldn't disagree with more of her stuff.
She was a nasty bitch.
Yeah, she was a nasty bitch.
And
they gave her a chance to put her money where her mouth was. They hired her to be like a screenwriter, and she failed.
Big time. Big time, because don't forget, she was like Robert Altman's #1 supporter, and then all of a sudden, she had a deal with him, and they fell out. And of course, then she trashed all of his movies afterwards. So she was a vindictive little bitch. Yeah,
and you look back at some of my favorite films throughout history, and she just really cuts them to shreds a lot. I mean, she cut down The Shining. She cut down 2001. Oh God, there was other films that I'm just John Carpenter's The Thing. She ripped to shreds.
But she liked Airplane. Go figure.
There was just
Airplane was great.
It is a great movie. I'm surprised that she liked it.
One I'd like to trash really quick. He's not even a film critic, but I felt like he helped destroy at the movies Ben Lyons because he obviously got his job through nepotism, and also the fact that he's a correspondent for E was already a conflict of interest when he has to see
Jeffrey
these people
Lyons
interview.
is terrible.
He's such a fucking puppet.
And he's still doing that
of all the people that you've mentioned tonight, I have to say of all the worst critics, absolute worst, I would have to agree with you because at least these other people have press credentials and are actual writers. And I don't like their writing. This guy is not a reviewer. He's a personality. He basically got on the coattails of his father. So fuck you, and thank you for help canceling at the movies, which we ran for 30 years.
What do we want to quickly press upon since we're kind of in this category now, whether we like it or not, like the blogosphere, like the Ain't It Cool News, Cinematical, Chud, all those guys have suddenly become critics by way of creating these blogs and these websites.
Maybe you could say fat ass Harry Knowles.
But what's happening is they're starting to take their quotes and using it to sell films now. Whether it's Merrick or Moriarty.
Except it's not the same as Ebert and Siskel. I don't know if we will ever see that.